What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Hey, so I'm super excited about today. I've got one of my rock stars, Jo Schultheiss. I'm pronouncing it right. We're making some jokes today about how I can't pronounce any last name that's not like a Jones or an Adams or anything like that. But Jo started with she interviewed with me probably about 6 weeks ago, maybe
Yeah,
6, 7 weeks ago.
just.
Yeah, so so this is gonna be a fun one today, guys, because she matches my energy at the same level. So, but we had an interview, and she came in. She interviewed for a sales manager position. And I said, "Listen, I love the energy. I love she. I mean, she did all kinds of homework. Interviewed my past agents, like was calling them, like did background. I was like, dang. I was like, I hope there's nothing on Google that can get me in trouble right here, because she did all the research. And anyways, we interviewed, had a great meeting, and I said, "Listen, love the energy I promote within." And she's like, "Great, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm all about."
Yep.
And Jo's been with us for now, I guess, probably officially like 4 to 5 weeks. She has written, I know, at least 5 or 6 contracts. How many contracts have you written so far?
Oh, well, 6 contracts, and I'm going to get that back to 4 pending. So we've had some fallout, but that just means we go back after it.
So, guys, check this out. So, Jo, have you ever been in real estate prior to our home?
Not a day, no.
Right on. So what's really cool about this, guys, is, and what I ultimately want to get out of today's interview, is to show you that not to complicate things, and if you follow the process, you can go out and have abundant results as well. So Jo started. She went through the training that we provide as a company, did all of our online academy, crushed through it really quick, asked questions. That's a big one, not just going through the motions, but she followed the system to the T, is in all of our trainings through buyer's presentation, learning the script. Now she's sharking deals from our other top agents, which is pretty exciting. She was just telling me a minute ago that one of our other top agents had called a lead a couple of times. She followed the script to a T, and now she's working with that person. So that's pretty exciting.
Sorry, Willie.
Sorry, Willie. Ooh, I can't wait for him. He's another one that I've interviewed on this podcast. So that's pretty exciting. But Jo's been with us for right at a month, just a hair over, and she had 4 pending, and this is pretty exciting. So she had 4 pending for over $2 million in real estate transactions in her first month. And some people say, "Oh, beginner's luck." But the reality is she's went out and put forth the effort. Jo, share a little bit about how you were able to make that happen as someone that is brand new to the real estate industry. Like, share your experience on that.
Sure. Well, one of the reasons I came to our home is because of the process that you have put in place. You said you had to learn it yourself, and you didn't want other agents in your group having to go through that same pain. So that really made sense to me. And I just was 100% in. I believed in the process and the systems and just did the homework, followed that process diligently. And believe it or not, it works. So, I mean, from someone who didn't have real estate experience, I'm telling you all, if you're just listening to this, if you want to change careers, or if you want to do something new, you just come in and the system is in place. You got to believe in that process and just do the steps, work it hard. There's no replacing resilience and hustle and dedication, but you've got a path to make that happen. And that's all that I did, was to follow the plan and keep after it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, 100%. So I agree with that. You can't replace guts or tenacity or anything like that. You've got to go out and put forth the work. I've got Charlene. She just popped in. Come say hello to everybody. So Charlene, she's our top producer, and I was just talking about you to Jo, and I was saying, well, it's good that you had a couple of fall throughs right out of the gate. I said Charlene's had more deals fall through than a lot of people sell in real estate in an entire year. So yeah, for sure.
I'm coming after you, girl.
She's coming after you. She said she's going to take that number 1 spot. She said about time somebody shows up. So anyways, so back to it. So 4 pendings, one, actually 2 fell through. So you've got one
Yep.
back under contract. So sense of urgency right there. That's called pivot and
Yep.
progress. So
And
kudos to that, because that just happened. So walk me through
and
how we were able to.
well, the first one is a land deal, and it just what my young family wanted to do was to build, and they after they talked to the construction guy and got final cost, they couldn't make it happen, so they had to back out of that one, and then I got him into one that was actually larger acreage with no restrictions, and he couldn't be happier. He's just going to build that dream home for his family.
That's
That
awesome.
second one, which was a 1031 exchange, we found a cabin for them, and they are very experienced. They're property managers from Alabama, and they just were not happy with the level of wear and tear, and they didn't want something that had that much requirement for getting it up to their standards. So
Right.
today, this morning, I've got them talking to a builder, and they think that's exactly where they're going to go, and we should get that one back on the pending side shortly.
That's fantastic. So let's talk about. It's always cool um, to see the progression, right? But let's talk about that. You've got pendings now, but what have your daily activities look like to get to this level of having, this book of business that you've already, progressed to in the last 30 days?
Yeah, I mean it's really the groundwork that you've laid out. So the script is number one, really understanding how to connect and relate to those folks who are coming in. The leads are phenomenal. That's something that maybe if you've been with another agency or you've experienced a realtor before, but you haven't had that kind of pipeline in order to tap into. So I know that that's huge. That's definitely a very rich pipeline. Then having the script that really allows you to connect with them, and then just taking it to that next level. Once we get that commitment to the next step, that's the presentation. And I mentioned this, if you really do the presentation, don't say no. They're so impressed with how different our home is and how you've structured it to really have all those value adds, that they're like, okay, that makes total sense. What's next?
Yeah, so you allude to the script goes to the presentation, and for those of you guys who don't know, our brokerage has a presentation that goes over the full buying process, benefits of buyer's agency, what the market looks like, offer conditions, what it looks like to make an offer, pre-approval process. It really just dives in, because for me as a company owner, my whole goal with working with clients is to make sure that they're educated in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And information is liberation. The more informed you are, the better you're going to be to make a buying decision, and you're going to have conviction in that process. So for me, when I'm working with someone, I want them to know that they're confident in their decision making. And so that also takes practice, which you've done. I want to go back one step, and you're talking about the script and how it leads to that. And I even to the new agents that were with you and that are still coming behind you, at what level did you learn the script, and what did it take you to master that script? Tell me a little bit on that.
Yeah, I mean, the script has come from years of fine tuning from yourself and some of your other top agents. So that
Yeah,
really it's magic when you follow it, when you do the homework so that you've got those first lines down, that it sounds natural. Then you open it up into questions, which is the bulk of what we need to do. And then when
hmm,
we get to that point where we understand and we can disposition them, we understand what timeline and all of the things that are important to them, then bringing them into what we call the hook, and how we actually pull them into saying that all of those things are true, but you want to work with us in order to get into that perfect home. And that's the process. And I think one of the classes that we just had, and another big differentiator, is how much training that you have put together for your team. And just that your CEO did a training on the difference between talking and relating and actually understanding. So you're not there to chit chat on the phone and one up them with stories. You're there to hear what
yeah,
their priorities are and listen, and then be able to work with them to find that solution they're looking for.
yeah. I think that a big problem that salespeople and just people in general is they do a lot of talking and they don't do a lot
Yeah.
of listening. And
Yeah.
there's a thing that's called active listening. For me, I learned that very early in my real estate career, is that I was going to ask questions so I could ultimately find the solution. And so what's been your experience on that? Like, how I know that, a lot of people think, you said high quality lead. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Someone who doesn't practice, that they would call leads low quality. They could be someone that's ready to buy today, but they're low quality because they don't know how to convert them. But
Mhm.
what are you doing differently in your conversations with clients to get them engaged to want to do business with you? Like, if I were coming to you and you're talking to me, like, what are you going to do differently that makes me, the consumer, want to do business with you, Joe?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's the listening. It really is understanding what issues that they've gone through. I mean, this is a crazy market. Everybody has experienced the frustration of what they might want to look at is gone, or the price that they thought was a fair price got overbid. So all of that really speaks to the challenge of the market we're in. So when we can kind of listen to their pain, what they've been through, what they've already experienced, and then be able to offer them what's different about us and how we can strategically position them, whether that's our off-market deals or whether that's our in-house coming soons. All of those are things that people don't hear before. They hear, oh, I'll put you on a drip system so that you can get, online, or I can open a door for you and show you a bunch of houses. That doesn't get the results. And when we can tell them just how different and what a rock star means to them, then they start to say, of course I want to work with you. It makes total sense. And not just me or the individual, it's the team. I think that really speaks to how we differentiate, is having all
Yeah.
those resources, having all those pieces pulled together.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that when people understand the value, then the level of confidence goes up. There's a lot of discount companies and stuff like
Yeah.
that we're definitely not one of those. And even conveying that to the team, it's like, for someone that's never been in the business, you don't know, but for other people that are going to watch it, they've been with other brokerages. And,
Mhm.
I have people that have never heard of what a transaction coordinator or a listing
Yeah.
coordinator, or having a sales manager to help and de-escalate, and having ops managers to make sure that the process goes smooth. So it definitely does help. But for agents, what would you say, Joe? Just a couple more questions. What would you say that a typical daily routine looks like for you? Because we do have agents that crush it like you, and we have other agents that learn slower. For them and anyone else that's watching this, what would you say some of your daily activities look like to set you up for success?
Yeah. I think getting on the phone, getting your pipeline, it's making the calls, not being afraid of that, and just kind of being very dedicated, very structured with it. And then moving on to, okay, now I'm in the field. Now I have showing times. Now I have research times to go find place for clients. But I really believe that you got feeding it in so that I don't have the dips and valleys, that you can have that steady performance.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. 100%. And so for the people that don't know you, what excites you about real estate in general?
Well, I've been in sales for a lot of years, and the things that really drive me is I love to find that solution for my client or customer or whatever it is. So finding that deal, making sure we've got perfect solution for them. That's what me. I I also to coach and to build and to build teams. So that's all about. Another reason why I was so enamored with your group is the opportunity to continue to grow with it. So those are the things I want to prove myself now, learn it from the ground up, be able to share that with people coming in and my colleagues alike, and then be able to continue to grow in your organization.
Well, I appreciate that a lot. The cool thing is our world that we live in now. It doesn't take anything. It doesn't take a title or anything like that to be a
Mhm.
leader. A leader is one that's going to make sure that they put in the actions and then that they pave the trail. And you're setting the bar for other new people that do aspire to be. like you. Now it's early in your career, but those are the foundations that you're walking through, that you're building. Ultimately, the better the foundation, the stronger the house, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
setting those things on from the front end and understanding that, I encourage you to always revisit these, because the farther we get in our career, we're starting to put on a roof and forget how important that foundation
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So last question for you. I know that you've got a busy day today, before the holidays, but what are you most excited for in 2022?
I think that one of the things that was the challenge with my client that I had that wasn't satisfied with what we were finding is to be a part of a group that can have quality new builds and just be able to continue to offer that kind of level of um, expertise and be able to offer them solutions, because that's what our discerning client is really looking for, and being able to step to the plate. So I think our 2022 is just going to be outstanding with what we can offer, our growth numbers, our revenue, our new builds, and just all of the team collaborating together is just going to knock it out of the park.
I agree. I'm excited for it. I want to actually, Carrie the other day said that you got to live in the moment, because you're always looking forward in the future. I said it just gets me excited. So, well, listen. So, for anyone that may have questions, or anyone that would want to work with you, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you, Jo?
Yeah, so call me direct, email me. I'm on social media, so please reach out to me any of those ways. But I'd be happy to help, especially folks who are coming from different industries that want to connect, or if you've been a realtor with other kinds of groups and you want to hear how this one's different. Be happy to share my experience, because I did a lot of homework before I hung my
She did.
license in this company.
She did. And what's the best phone number and best email to get you at?
So phone number 865-500-9895. And the email is jo at oh865.com.
Jo, I'm gonna end up having to buy that phone number from you, just so you know. I like that phone number. So I said that the other day to Chris. I was like, "How'd you get that? I want that phone number." So, well, listen, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been my pleasure. I've been literally trying to set this up with Jo for about 4 or 5 days now. She's been slammed. So, Jo, I'm excited for you. Go get that other one under contract. Guys, if y'all have any questions outside of that, you can always info the brokerage at info@oh865. And if you have any real estate questions or anything like that, we'd be happy to answer those as well. Stay tuned to the next one, guys.
All right, bye-bye.